Hey guys, Dreadjoker here, back with another Shadowverse video. This time we're going to show off the Shadowcraft mid-range deck that I profiled in my last video, and we're going to show off some games of the deck to show what the deck is really capable of. The deck really specializes in maintaining pressure and momentum across the game. There's a couple decks that give me a bit of trouble. With Ghastly Banishment and Chronos, we're able to stave off their game plan while pushing towards our end game. And Zebit, along with Odile, we're able to maintain pressure, draw cards, and deal a load of damage at one turn. Here's the deck in question once again. Link will be in the description down below or in one of these corners thanks to editor me. But what better way to see the deck in action than to see some games and some explanations. So let's get right into it. So our first game is up against Portalcraft, and on ladder, Portalcraft could be Enhance or Artifact. So we're going into this blind, hoping that we don't see Enhance, and we see Artifact because Artifact is harder to play, and if we see Chronos, we're able to lock them out of their place. We got the Ebony Dancer and Haunted Mansion for a turn 1, turn 2, and we draw into the Chronos. Now it's up to them to see what they're able to pull out. They go for the Dimension Crack, and with the Dimension Crack, we know we're up against Artifacts. So we're feeling good here. We see another Haunted Mansion, but we go for the Odile turn 2. That way we can have a body on board that forces them to answer us, not the other way around. They drop the Inez while Resonance is active, so that adds the Agile to hand, but we still haven't seen the Mother yet, so we're feeling good here. We go for the Haunted Mansion, turn 3, and double Ghost, which should go straight to the face for some chip damage, but I slip up and I hit the Inez, and I forget to hit the face with the other Ghost. It was a late night for me. So they go for the Alina, adding 2 Keen Edges to their deck, and they pass turn. We have the double Ghost, so we're able to clear the Alina, and we have the Odile, forcing them to respond to us. But with them having first chance to evolve, they're just going to summon the Agile and swing at our Odile. So we go for the Ghastly Banishment, and we swing face, and we wait to see what happens. As expected, they fuse the Agile into the Pure Light Exemplar, and they go ahead and evolve it to get the leader effect. But we have double Chronos, so we're toasted. They go ahead and they trade into the Odile, which chips away at their life and clears the Inez. Not that Inez was much of a problem to begin with. So we throw down our Chronos, we evolve and lock them at 4 play points, because if they don't have a lot of play points, then even with Agile's manipulation, they're not able to do as much with their turns. We go for the 1 face damage and see what they do. Now, Artifacts are really good at building boards because they keep adding things to deck with 1 cost, and then things like Ivamia is able to add cards that cost 1 to their hand. A Laser Tyranny to get the face damage and clear the Chronos. And we're playing a pretty similar playstyle here. We go for the Chronos again to keep them at 4. The Chronos lock is so annoying. So we go with the Lucius so that we could get rid of their protection and get them 1 point lower, because 1 point lower means that our Ghastly Banishment later in the game doesn't have to hit for as much damage. They see the Carnelia, and they use their last Evo point to evolve the Carnelia. Now at this point, I'm running out of steam, and I'm getting a little scared. They get the Keen Edge and the Ancient Artifact, and they're able to rebuild a board to answer my board. And then we see the dreaded Electric Rhino. They go for a very favorable trade, clearing my board and restoring their life to 17. We're running out of time here. But we get the Mikhail, and we top deck a Lucius. We play the Lucius to get some more chip damage in, and we're going to throw down the last ghost to go ahead and bring them back down to 14 to take away that keen edge fight. Oh, here's where they build a board back and respond again. This time with Electric Rhino. Now, with Electric Rhinos adding Mech Rhinos to the deck, we're running out of time. We're running out of cards, and this is not looking good for me at all. They use the Electric Rhino to clear our board, get their destruction count up, and Evamia adds a card to their hand and evolves. We get the Mikhail, and we top deck a Slayer of the Dead for hopefully some sort of response. We get the Odin, and we're feeling a little bit better, but not quite. So we evolve the Slayer of the Dead, hoping to get something out of this. We cycle the Ghost once again, and we draw into Ghastly Banishment. We have our win con. The only way for us to clear the game is to go for the Ghastly Banishment. At 20 life versus 14, we're feeling good, but not feeling great. And they have the free evolve with Garnelia. They're adding cards to hand, and we have no idea what they're working with. We just know that there's an unknown amount of Mech Rhinos in their hand. They haven't played any yet, so we're feeling a little good, and they're just filling up their board. Now, at this point, Ghastly Banishment is sitting at a sweet spot of 7. But 7 isn't enough. So we throw down the Viscarias that are not going to be doing anything for us this game, and we sacrifice them to increase Ghastly Banishment to 8 instead of 7. Now our threshold is even easier. We just have to get them down to 12 so that Odin can hit them for 4 and Ghastly Banishment can finish them off. They drop the Mother and they fill up the boards, and we are not feeling good here. And with Laser Tyranny dealing us an extra 2 damage and the 5 base damage, we're feeling scared here. How are we going to get them down to 12? We Hellfire Strike, and then we drop Odile, which gives us 2 4/4s, and we use the Odin to clear the Mother. And now we cross our fingers and hope that they don't have enough Mech Rhinos to finish the game. But they do have 7 damage, and I am shaking at this point. They drop the Ancient Artifact, get rid of our Odin, and play an airstrike. But before they swing into my face with all of this, they summon an Electric Rhino, and they trade into the Odile, which is a huge misplay on their part. It clears off all of those bodies so that they're not able to go into the face, and they start dropping Mech Rhinos. Again, I'm still scared here because they could have enough Rhinos to finish the game. But they didn't play another Mech Rhino yet. They go for some more draws. They see another Mech Rhino. We're still trembling here. Now, if they didn't trade the Mech Rhino into Odette here, we wouldn't have had that extra 2 HP that Odette gave us, and that airstrike would have finished us. But due to 2 very big misplays on their part, we're able to coast that 2 HP, drop the Hellfire Strike, and then drop the Ghastly Banishment to go for a sweet, sweet 9 over the top and end the game. Bang! Game 2, we're up against Dragoncraft, and if you know anything about the ladder, Dragoncraft is almost always going to be buff dragon. So we're a little intimidated going into this because Drazael can wall us out really easily with all of the buffs Drazael can get. But we have the Chronos, so we're hoping to Chronos lock them and keep them off of Drazael, and we draw into the other Chronos. And with 3 evolve points, we're definitely keeping them away from Drazael. We draw the Spectral Sorceress and Haunted Mansion, and I make the inoptimal play here and play a Spectral Sorceress instead of Haunted Mansion. Again, this is a late night for me. But with the Militant Mermaid, we're able to keep the Spectral Sorceress on board. That way we can go for the Odile that we top deck on turn 2. They're at 3 play points, and we're thinking that they're going to throw down their ramps, but they instead go for our Grand Slam, and we're not too concerned because the Grand Slam doesn't have any of its points to summon the dragon. So we summon a Lucius to get 2 ghosts, and we're just going for the face at this point because we're racing them down before they're able to Joe us. We have our Odile breaking next turn, and we have Chronos evolve, so we're feeling pretty good, and they trade with Lucius so that they can stop our race to the face. But we have the 4/4, we have the Chronos, but we have to make sure that we clear that mermaid. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw the Chronos into the mermaid so that they don't get the mermaid evolve and buff the cards in hand. We throw down our Haunted Mansion, that way we can have a ghost in case we need to clear anything off, and we wait and see what they do. They play another mermaid to go ahead and get the evolve buff anyway, along with a Megalorca in order to add a card to hand and buff it by 3 instead of 2. They go ahead and they clear off our Chronos, and again, Buff Dragon shows off its sticky capabilities by keeping the mermaid around. But we don't care, we're going straight for the face. We summon Lucius to summon the ghosts, throw them at the mermaid and the face, and we go for the Viscaria so that we can clear that off for free while still keeping Lucius and Odile at full health. And we go for the ghost to the face, bring them down to 13. We're feeling good here. We have the momentum. They have the Grand Slam at full activation and 10 defense. But at this point, the phone is ringing and they have to answer me. So rather than going for the face, they go ahead and they throw the dragon into Viscaria and into Odile, which brings them down to 11. And we're still feeling good. The momentum's ours, the pressure is on. Let's keep it up. We get the Mikhail for the extra heal, throw 3 damage into them, and we make sure to get some Chronos locking in again so that we don't let them have an out to us. The Hellfire Strike and the extra Ghost in hand, we're able to clear off the Grand Slam, and the only out that they have is the Silver Dragon. At 5 life, they have to have a Silver Dragon here to go ahead and clear our board, but instead they drop Joe, which is not big enough to clear off our board because they need 20 defense in total, and there's only 13. They evolve for the 7 damage just to get some cheap damage in, and then scoop because they realize that I have game on board. And for our 3rd game, we're going up against Havencraft, and Havencraft has been a lot of Lina Haven on ladder recently, so that's what we're expecting to go into. So we're not looking to play a long game here. We want to try to finish them off as fast as possible. We want to see Ghastly Banishment because that's going to be our definite win con for this time. So with Spectral Sorceress and double Haunted Mansion, we got a really great early game, and we see the Chronos to keep them off Divine Master. We go for the optimal Haunted Mansion turn 1, and we have the Spectral Sorceress turn 2 for the double ghost damage and double shadow game. We're setting up for Viscaria late game.
Shall we, my dear?
They go for the cheap demote. We summon the Spectral Sorceress, and we get the double ghost swing. With 4 shadows locked in and another ghost in hand, we definitely have enough to get up to 7, which means we're over halfway there. And we sleeve the Slayer of the Dead, so we know we have one way to use Necromancy. Now we're just looking for some more. Now on turn 3, Lina doesn't have a whole lot to play, so they go for the Fount of Tranquility, and we know turn 4, they're hopefully going to draw a line on. Well, not for me, hopefully for them. So we go for the Odette and go for the Ghost. That way they don't have anything for them to clear with Lina except for the Spectral Sorceress, making it a very favorable evolve trade for us. They do see the Lina, as always, and they get the 4/6 evolve and the leader effect, but they don't have anything to clear but the Spectral Sorceress, and we're feeling good. They're healing off most of our chip damage, but we still want to go for the Chronos Lock because we want to keep them desperately off Divine Master, because Divine Master can shut down our deck completely. We go for the trade and go for the Ghost to finish the off the lineup. We get the shadow increase, and we're sitting at 14 shadows, which is definitely enough to get Viscaria up if we see enough of our Necromancy cards. They hit me with their own Chronos, which was very shocking to me, but the only thing they can do is trade into our Chronos, and the momentum's in my favor. We have the Odile, and we have the Zep, so we're waiting to get to turn 8. We go ahead and we lock them again, keeping them annoyed with the Chronos Lock at 4 while we further our game plan and leave bodies. The phone is ringing, answer me. And they do, with their Odin tech. But I guess if I can tech it, they can tech it too. We go ahead and we get the Mikhail here, meaning that we have a body on board. So we sack it off with Slayer of the Dead to start digging for our Viscaria and eating in through our shadows. We get the Viscaria. We cycle the Ghost, getting the Ghostly Bicycle kicked off, and we get some draws in. We're looking good, we're feeling great. We've got the chip damage in, and we see another way to use up some shadows. We get Lucius down, furthering our chip damage, and hoping that they're not able to heal all of it off, and we have 7 on board. Phone is ringing again. Let's see if they answer. They do. With an Odin to banish the Bane and trade into Slayer of the Dead. We still want to apply pressure, so we go ahead with the Mikhail, and we're going to summon the Odile to get another body on board to force another response. And they never fail to answer on the first ring, and they Heraldi destroy Odile and Odette, healing us and dealing 2 damage to them, and then healing their life again. We're racing to the face, and we're Zebbiting on 8. Now with Zebbit on 8, we're able to get our evolve points and summon some bodies. We throw it into the Heraldi so that we can clear space for the other 2, and evolve the Zebbit. We fill up our board, we go straight to the face, and we leave our little buggy minions to clear off the Heraldi while drawing us cards. Let's see if they answer us again. We force the phone to ring, and they drop the Cottontail and evolve the Cottontail to summon the Almirage siblings. They drop an Executor of the Oath to heal up, and they're trying to clear our board, but because Zebbit has protection, they have to throw everything into Zebbit to clear it all. They have a ward in our face, but I can see the goal now. We've got Viscaria, we draw the Ghastly Banishment, and with Viscaria at 20 shadows, we get the full activation, clearing the ward, dealing 4, and we're able to go 1, 2, 1, evolve the Mikhail for 5, and Ghastly Banishment at this point has seen enough ghosts that it's at 7, and we go over the top for 7 to get the game closed. Bang! Even with some misplays here and there, the deck has a higher area of forgiveness than some of the other decks. We're able to close out games that we thought that we accidentally threw. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, show your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.